You've probably heard the saying that honesty is the best policy. What you're about to see in tonight's Tipline investigation is what happens when a business apparently doesn't have that policy.
Let me get under here. Some scratches going back from here in the undercoating.
San Luis Obispo resident Jim Hall is pointing out the damage to his 2004 Porsche 911.
The rock guard hanging down right there. It goes back, it hit certain parts of the chassis.
On January 30th, the Halls took their pristine, low-mileage Porsche to SG&S Automotive in San Luis Obispo for just an oil change. The mechanic called that afternoon and asked if he could keep it an extra day because they accidentally nicked the bumper.
Most damage is on the underbody of the car.
Then, 2 days later, the clutch went out, and the Halls had to pay another $1,400 in repairs.
You got it?
Yeah. 5 more weeks go by, and a bill from Caltrans arrived in the mail.
It said they wanted $146 for a sprinkler repair on Highway 101. And I said, well, what's that for? And when we looked at the car and we said that the 911.
Caltrans claimed the Porsche was in an accident. The Halls saw the date and quickly realized it was the same day they had the oil changed.
It got very frustrating. We found out and figured out we'd been lied to about the nick in the front bumper.
They also say that clutch was damaged in the crash and they couldn't believe the shop charged them to repair it.
When we walked into the mechanic's bay the next day with the car, the owner-manager said to me that he still didn't know anything about it. He was still just learning.
Carol Hall says they confronted Guy, the manager at SG&S Automotive. What SG&S didn't know is that the Halls had the bill from Caltrans and a copy of the CHP report, which listed the mechanic as the driver.
A few more non-truths were told to us, even to find out that it came back to the shop, is my understanding, on a tow truck.
Carol says the truth finally came out when she misread the CHP report and confronted Guy again, believing the crash had happened in a Atascadero.
And I said to him, I don't appreciate that somebody took this car and was up joyriding in a Atascadero. And he said, no, he wasn't in a Atascadero. I know he wasn't in a Atascadero. I know the CHP officer. I'm friends with him. And I was there. Now, up until this moment, he had told us 3 or 4 times that he knew nothing about it.
Simple fact, we were not told the truth and tried to cover it up. And that's the part that's really frustrating.
Turns out the mechanic took the 911 for a test drive after the oil change. The CHP report indicates he entered the 101 freeway, stepped on the gas, spun out, and flew off the roadway, 150 feet north of Santa Rosa Street in San Luis Obispo. He hit and damaged a panel marker and a sprinkler head. The Halls say Guy at SG&S ultimately caved in under all of the evidence.
He just said I should have been more forthright. He was very calm. He was very collected. Then he said, you know, I need to go home. I'm having a bad day.
Despite that admission, the Halls say SG&S refused to refund their $1,400 for the clutch repair and fairly compensate them for the damage to their once pristine Porsche.
He said, I guess we can't come to terms. Here's my insurance guys, go deal with him.
The Halls say the car just sat in the garage. The Bureau of Automotive Repair wouldn't take any action and nothing was happening with insurance, so they called the News Channel 3 Tipline. I called SG&S hoping to get their side of the story. They did not want to talk. Instead, I was told the problem was being resolved. The Halls say that's when things started moving. SG&S eventually agreed to buy the car at fair value, and the shop's insurance paid the Halls $8,000.
Thank you.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you.
Good job.
Now, the Halls are not happy the shop could sell that Porsche and make money on the deal. SG&S, by the way, never did return my phone calls. And we have many of the documents, including the Caltrans letter and the CHP report, and some helpful advice on our website at KEYT.com.